So, here is the next instalment in the popular series of What the Hell Do We Do in Social Isolation? Isolation? I just made that word up. Anyway, we're now looking at girls. Act 4, Scene 3. Very, very short scene. It involves Amy, Ellie and Jess. It is a short scene, but I've put in lots and lots of business. It's small-scale stuff, lots of gestures and faces and things. So we'll go through it. Now, one or two lines are cut as well. Jess and Amy, strangely personal question, and trust me, I'm not turning it into a dirty old perv. That happened years ago. How comfortable are we going to be with bits of physical contact? Sorry about that. It's just a couple of things that I may work on, which can involve hugs and so on. But we'll see about it, as I say. As for general characters, during this little session, Jess, stick with what you're doing. I am loving the Jess courtesan. I mean, it's great. I mean, you are immensely comfortable with your body and your sexuality. I mean, it's the courtesan's livelihood, obviously. You are familiar with Antipholus. He is either a regular customer or maybe just a friend. Everybody knows Antipholus, and you may just know him socially anyway. Whereas Amy, totally off the wall for you. You have no idea who this sexy, alluring woman is, who obviously knows you very well indeed. So what I'd like to do now is to go through the scene, very, very quickly, telling you the ideas that I've had for bits of business and so on. Any line cuts, I shall tell you as we go through. We start off with Antipholus' entrance. And so when you come in, what I want you to do is say hello and speak to all the kids and that. The kids who have been doing our scenery, who've been the waiters and so on. During your speech, you will see that there are all these people. Some tender money to me, some invite me, some others give me thanks for kindnesses, some have offered me commodities to buy and so on. During your little bit of entrance, before you say any of that, the kids will have been doing all that to you as you come in. It just creates a little bit of a buzz as we go along, I hope. Dromio, as ever, runs in. Ellie, I will have you as fit as a butcher's dog by the end of this. And there's this confusion because of this gold that you didn't give and so on. So your second speech in this scene, Ellie, not the Adam that kept the paradise, but that Adam that keeps the prison. That stays in. The next part of the sentence is out. He that goes in the calf skin that was killed for the prodigal. Get rid of that. Too obscure an allusion. Keep in then with he that came behind you, sir, like an evil angel, and bid you forsake your liberty. So that's going to be your speech there. Okay? So keep that bit going. And then Antipholus, quite straightforward. I understand these not. Dromio, your no is a question. You look at Antipholus, no. Antipholus put in the line, no. So it goes, no. Oh, why? 'Tis a plain case. So we just, I hope, get a little bit of a titter out of that. Then, 'tis a plain case. Then the next bit is cut. Be that went like a bass viol in a case of leather. That is cut. Keep in the man, sir, that when gentlemen are tired, gives them a sob and rests them. And then the rest of that speech is cut. Okay, Ellie. So it reads, no. Why? 'Tis a plain case. The man, sir, that when gentlemen are tired, gives them a sob and rests them. Boom. That's it. Good. Okay. So moving straight along. Next few speeches, pretty straightforward, as is, and keeping them going there. At the end of your next little bit, Dromio, so why, sir, I brought you word an hour since that the bark expedition put forth tonight. And then where you hinted, you start to get really, really frustrated and upset because you are trying to do the right thing. You are trying to do everything that you have been told to do. So basically, I want you to have a little cry. So put forth tonight. And when were you hindered by the sergeant to tarry for the hoy delay? Here are the angels you sent for me to deliver you. Okay, easy. Antipholus puts his arm round you, comes out with his lines, the fellow is distracted, so am I. Obviously that's to the audience. And some blessed power deliver us from hence. Meanwhile, Jess, you make your entrance. You move up quite quietly behind them, and you come out with the well met. Pause after the first well met, because we've just had this line from Antipholus saying about some blessed power deliver us from hence, like a holy power, God, for instance. Hold on to that, because we're going to be using that a lot later on in this scene. And this, you come out with well met, and then I want Dromio and Antipholus to start looking about them as though that were a voice from God. And then you come in again with well met, Master Antipholus. The two of you split up, and Jess, you move in and carry on with your line. What I like is a bit of a contrast going on here between the two different sets. Jess, I want a contrast between your long, languorous, slow, sexy Jess with the frenzy that is coming out of Antipholus and Dromio. Okay, so that's the dynamic that I want in this bit. Actually, it's at this point, after these lines, after your line, "Nay, she's worse," after that little speech, Dromio, that you run off and hide behind the chair and the table. Jess comes out with her line, "You're man and you are marvellous merry. We'll mend our dinner here." Dromio, you creep up behind Antipholus and speak in his ear. Okay? And then, moving on down a couple of speeches, Antipholus, "Avoid them, fiend. What tells thou me of supping? Thou art as you are all, a sorceress. I conjure thee to leave me and be gone." That is you summing up a bit of courage, and you're facing Jess, whom you think is a demon, all right? Not actually a courtesan, who knows you very well, probably knows your birthmarks. And I want you, Antipholus, to use your arms to make a cross. Like that. All right? Jess, I then want you to shake your chest at the cross. All right? And Antipholus turns to Dromio and shrugs his shoulders. So we go from Antipholus, from Jess, and from Antipholus. Okay? Lines again, and at the end of Jess's speech, "And I'll be gone, sir, and not trouble you," Antipholus, you start to take the chain off, and you are going to give it to Jess. But Dromio snatches it from you for his speech, because he just thinks it's going to empower the devil, who is Jess, even more. Okay? And now we're going to come back to the protection and the holy business and so on. So we have, "Avaunt thou witch, come Dromio, let us go." And what I want you to do is that kind of thing, loads of that, trying to ward off the devil. You start doing it at first, Antipholus, and you start to whistle. Dromio joins in, and Jess, you just start You think it's really funny. They are scared out of their wits, as they can see that their incantations and their whistling has absolutely no effect upon you. They sort of like fade out, and then a very, very upright and correct Antipholus says, "Avaunt thou witch, come Dromio, let us go." And you slowly turn, put your back towards Jess, take one step at normal speed, and then leg it as fast as you possibly can. Okay, and then leaves you, Jess, on your nice long speech here. So yours goes straight through, Jess, until you get the line. Besides this present instant of his rage, taking the Mickey out of him and the fingers and the whistling and that. You do that and work it through. We like his wife acquainted with his fits, on purpose shut the doors against his way. Now, at that point, they don't know this yet because I haven't told them. Rachel and Amy, so Adriana and Luciana, leave the house. They leave the house, they come through the door, they turn, face and see you. Now, obviously, they are very well-bred ladies, and they don't approve of courtesans. They've been told all kinds of things about them, and they're a little bit shy, abashed, frightened. I don't know what to do in this situation. They look at each other, they take another look at you, and they run off, which leaves your last lines, Jess. My way is now to run after those two. Slight change in the line there that I've put in. My way is now to run after those two and tell his wife that, being lunatic, he rushed into my house and took the force, and for 40 ducats is too much to lose, and you chase off after them. Okay, that's it. Short scene, loads and loads and loads going on. I think that probably my description and my instructions for you all the way through have got you really confused. But that's the way that it's going to be, working like this. I would like, if possible, to go through this as well on Thursday evening when we have our face-to-face meet. I'm trying to schedule it so that not everybody's on all the time, and I do the act 4, 1, and then I'll call up for the people for 2, and I'll call up for the people for 3. I'll see how it goes. Would you mind if I called you as late as 9 o'clock to do this? I'm planning to start at about 7:30, and what I'd like to do is just go through the lines. Okay, that's it for now. Don't forget to floss your teeth.